Is anime accepted by society? So today I'm going to be answering that question, and this is going to be a different type of video than I usually do. I'm going to be talking about a couple different instances and situations in my life as an anime fan, because as you guys know, when I'm outside, if I'm rocking the Naruto shirt, people will be looking at me. Now, to give you guys some context for why I decided to make this video, I've been living in Germany for about a year now, right? And a lot of you guys will ask me, like, Double4, what happened to the collection in the background? It's not that I just like having a wall of nothing in the background, guys. It's that my collection is in Florida. It's in the US, and I'm not living there right now. So I was in a car with a couple of friends. We were doing, I would say, some illegal activities. I don't really want to put it out there because I don't know if there's going to be someone younger watching this video that's impressionable or whatever. And there was music on the radio, right? Dragon Ball reference in the song, and at first I'm like, Shenron? Because, like, you know, they say it with a different accent, but I heard Dragon Ball, so I was like pretty confident this dude was dropping a DBZ line. And this isn't new. There's been many different rappers who have talked about anime on songs and have also, specifically always, they go to Dragon Ball Z references. I mean, Super Saiyan's been referenced in a lot of songs. Though come to find out, this is the biggest song in the whole country. This is the #1 song in all of Germany, and it's got a DBZ reference. I believe this is the first time ever that a song is #1 in any country with an anime line. I don't think that's ever happened before. Help me forget what was. Come on. And I thought to myself, would have this been the case 10 or 15 years ago? The answer is no. And the reason is because the generation of people who grew up really loving anime, they are the ones that are becoming grown up now, successful in some cases, and then they create work, or in general, they create an atmosphere where certain things are accepted, like anime. That's like if this was a #1 song on the radio.
The world will f you up, you best believe facts. Epo dead, shot to the chest, you're gonna eat that. Trigger on the finger, vash, I'm so white. I dash on the beat, cause they say I have no life. Ultra instinct, every Saturday.
Alright, definitely not, because I dropped an Ippo Trigun and a Dragon Ball Super reference all together, so that's a little bit more anime than, you know, what this other song was, but still, alright, like, it's kind of similar vibe, maybe. Shut up. If you go back in time, there's going to be people that like anime, but they weren't so open about it, and no, you wouldn't hear the #1 song in the country would not be a song with an anime reference in it. That just wouldn't have been the case. And yeah, it was some basic. It's not like the dude is like spewing anime lines on the track, but it's just the thought. It's just the thought that the #1 song in the whole country has an anime line. And honestly, that gets me as an anime fan feeling pretty good, because this is something that people as a whole now, for the most part, accept. At the very least, the generation that's getting older and that will be kind of dominant in society. I mean, if you think about it, the older generations, they're going away. They all see cartoons as just cartoons, as childish. But then the younger generation, it's like we're all kind of kids in the heart. So even if some anime is directed towards kids, like shonen is for younger people, but anybody can enjoy it. And the mentality of our generation is you can't put everybody in a box. People are going to enjoy different things, and that's why I personally feel like, to some degree, anime is accepted by society now. Zac Efron wanted to play Light in a Death Note live-action movie. Keanu Reeves wanted to play Spike in a Cowboy Bebop Western live-action. Megan Fox is a fan of Sailor Moon. Avril Lavigne did music for One Piece. So all of these things happening is not a coincidence, man. Anime has hit our generation super hard, and it's left a huge impact. A huge impact. Now, there is an extra layer specifically when it comes to Dragon Ball Z, because in many ways, Dragon Ball Z is not the traditional anime. Like, I know a lot of people that don't even know Dragon Ball Z is an anime. They don't even know what anime is. They just know Dragon Ball Z. Like, Dragon Ball Z has overstepped the boundaries of anime, right? So it's a little bit different when you have like a Dragon Ball Z reference on a track than maybe even like a Naruto reference or a Bleach reference or Hunter x Hunter reference or whatever anime you like a smaller seasonal anime. If you have like a reference from one of those shows, I think it's a little bit extra because these are a lot of times shows that you have to dig for if you're a Western anime fan. They aren't the most mainstream. They're more mainstream in the anime community, but outside of the anime community, they're not mainstream. Just recently, there was a picture that went viral of Snoop Dogg reading a Naruto volume, and I was even browsing around the internet, and I found out that one of the guys in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody or whatever is a One Punch Man fan, and he did a cosplay of Genos. And no, I'm not saying that actors and rappers speak for, the majority of society and what the majority of society thinks. That's absolutely not the case. A lot of people do not subscribe to Hollywood movies, Hollywood actors, or rap music, right? A lot of people do not subscribe to those things, but nonetheless, these are two mediums that are very, very influential in the world. And when a lot of them happen to be anime fans, you got to start questioning, like, is it accepted by society? Now, there's always going to be people who do not understand the beauty of anime because anime is an art form and art is completely subjective, beauty is completely subjective, right? There's always going to be a segment of the population that doesn't see what anime is really offering. Like, what is this? Like, why are you watching this? This is fantasy. This isn't even real. Why don't you watch the news? Why don't you keep up with politics? Why don't you watch sports? Now, I like everything, right? I like everything, so this doesn't apply to me, but there is people who think like that. And because there are a segment of people who do not understand the beauty of anime, when you mix that in with people who are already kind of judgmental and put other people in boxes, you get those types of assholes who will, look at anime fans as pushovers or nerds and people they could just kind of like, oh, I could do whatever I want with this guy because he likes anime, because he likes cartoons, because he's a nerd. I'm not going to take this guy seriously when everybody deserves to be treated with the same amount of respect. Unfortunately, with those basic people and those basic interactions, which you will have in your daily life, that is just me being realistic and honest with you guys, there's nothing you can really do about that. The only thing you can do about that is make sure you're the most presentable person you can be. And when anime comes up, be proud of it. You know what I mean? Don't be scared to talk about anime whenever it is that you want. I've always had that in the back of my mind, but recently a situation occurred that really cemented those beliefs. So I'm renting my apartment out to my tenant. This is my place. I have all my things there. That's why you don't see the collection in the background because I am not at home. I'm having problems with this tenant. He's not paying his rent on time and he's, owing me money and stuff like that. I'm thinking about getting an eviction, but that's a totally other story or whatever. But when we were having our dispute, and we're still currently having our dispute, but this is a situation that happened like a little bit ago, he brought up my cartoon. So basically, I rented this place under the condition that if he takes care of this place with all my things there and, he pays his rent on time, I will make rent cheaper. And he's went against his promise, his initial promise. And, one of the things that he said is that, dude, how could you expect me to pay rent or whatever on time or whatever when you got all this cartoon here? Like, I can't even bring girls to my place. And when he said that, I really thought to myself, what do you mean? Like, you know how disrespectful that is? Like, we're arguing, like, you owe me money, you owe me rent, and you're bringing up my anime collection? What does my anime collection have to do with our, problems or our argument that we're having right now? But that just goes to show you that some people don't get it, and they look at this as, like, weird and lesser and, like, cartoons. Like, again, like, oh, I don't want to bring a girl here because she's going to see all these cartoons. In certain circles, it is viewed as lame to like anime, which is just unfortunate, right? And it's really sad because it's like, at the end of the day, if you like a girl and you decide to take her home and she sees your anime collection and she thinks less of you because of that anime collection, she just was not worth it. I'm not even saying that as like a delusional anime fan. I'm just saying that as a realistic person. Like, ultimately, a girl is going to like you for you. So one of your passions should not be make or break it. If it was going to be anime that makes or breaks it, then it's going to be something else that makes or breaks it because that's just a stupid reason for things not to work. Oh, I can't have this girl see these cartoons here. Like, what is the anime collection going to do when y'all are on my bed, by the way? Nothing. It's like just going to be there in the background, bring about good energy. In fact, books, really clean up the atmosphere. It's nice to have books in the background, right? It makes things more beautiful. But I really did feel disrespected because anime in many ways is my life. It's my job. Like, I make money doing this. That's how I was able to buy my apartment in the first place to rent to this dude who's talking about my cartoon. So to answer the question, guys, I feel like anime is more and more accepted by society, and specifically mainstream society. But there's always going to be a segment of people who don't understand it, and to them, it's always just going to be geeky, weird cartoons. These people will always exist no matter how small of a number they become, and to them, it is not considered accepted. But guess what? With all that being said, guys, tell me about some of your experiences as an anime fan. Are you guys more open about it? Do you guys keep it more private? And do you think certain anime fans are accepted more than others? Maybe like Dragon Ball Z fans, or, you know, fans of more shonen mainstream series are more accepted than fans of like slice of life anime, more sensitive type animes like Clannad? Do you think that there's a different level of acceptance, right? Like one is considered, you know, more masculine and like manly, and the other one's more like feminine. So within certain circles, you know, one's viewed as lesser. I could definitely see those little differences here and there. But as a whole, I wouldn't really look too deep into it. People in many ways are going to judge us all the same. And all this is reminding me of my friend Gray back in Florida. And this dude is hilarious. There's one thing that he told me one time that stuck with me. And whenever I think about him, it makes me laugh or whatever. He told me this specifically, and I've even dropped this line on you guys a couple times.